Why was Canine such an exciting deck for the community? Now make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button, and of course, everybody has two wolves on the inside of them. Unfortunately, you're either an alpha or a beta. And, well, that has been the major debate today, has been, why do people care about this? Well, first of all, I love the fact that Konami made an archetype that literally is just, you can transform into a werewolf. They gave you Exceed change cards that allow your inner werewolf or your inner demon to come out. So, first of all, on the lore side of things, it's freaking exciting. Alright, you can turn Volcasaurus into a werewolf. Alright, like, who thought that was coming? Not me. Now, in terms of gameplay and uniqueness of this archetype, rank 5s have been going crazy. Alright, and I think that's one of the reasons why people have been a little bit excited about this right now, is because you have all these cool rank 5s. Umbral Horror, Ragna, Finity, I forgot his name there for a second, C106. But the problem with all three of those is, besides, them being random targets for 7 Tachyon, is you all have to play really bad lower components for them, which means instead of doing what this deck needs to do, which is, making big rank 5s, then you're making rank 4s, and then you're ranking up into these other monsters, which, okay, so people are just excited on this kick of playing some really dog shit cards. Yes, they are, actually. So this is the thing that happens every time we get a new archetype. You have the initial, ooh, shiny. Oh my gosh, this makes all of these Ragna, Umbral Horror, you got somebody out here that's cooking right now with number 104 for the C version, because they're like, I can send a random card from my opponents in the graveyard. That's really cool. Ragna Infinity, attack change modifiers. You got somebody that's excited about that. Somebody's happy the giant hand can punch an entire field on and blow some stuff up. I mean, that's the thing, but then you got the real sophisticated duelist out here that are looking at this, and they're like, whose Yu-Gi-Oh! Persona do I want to see today? Do I want to see, Volcasaurus? Do I want to see Umbral? You got some ideas to be had out here. Now, this also brings up the discussion of, Baryon's rank up force. Which of these rank up spell cards, in addition to the werewolf ones, can we actually use to get the best results? Well, I guess this kind of comes back into the discussion of, 7 Tachyon, 7th Ascension, and I guess this also brings up the discussion of, with 7 Tachyon releasing this Friday, do you need to rush out and pick them up? We don't have an ETA on this deck build pack. I'm assuming that it'll be August, September. If I had to guess, for Justice Hunters, actually we might already have an ETA on it, but either way, it's going to be sometime in quadrant 3 or 4 of this year, for sure. And the whole Canine archetype itself, in terms of gameplay and making those old cards come back, I don't know if this deck's gonna open up some cool, innovative plays. I think one of the craziest things I've seen be talked about was the tie-in with Super Quantals, because now you have, Super Quantal Red Layer actually having a little bit more play, which means, that was one of the harder things that you could have access to, but then you've just got to kind of outlay the rest of the deck in order to get Great Magnus set up in order to go down those play lines. And I don't think that that's going to be the most consistent answer. The other cool thing is, this archetype got a rank 9 that has hand ripping. And we have so many rank 9s right now in the game that can actually hand rip and damage the opponent, in some sort of way. It's kind of interesting what Konami has been trying to do with this. But this support also now effectively makes it even easier to climb up to Zeus, because you have the 2 initial level 5s, you'll rank up into the 5. Now you can use a spell card to rank up into the 9, and then you can start to use the spiders to kind of crawl up from there into this. So, awkwardly enough, getting to a possible 5/6 material Zeus might not be unheard of, actually. But then your opponent's just going to slap down a Typhon and out the entire Zeus anyway. So, kind of lost all that momentum that you were initially trying to build up on the K9 stack. So, that's a thing. It's like, in terms of ideas, bad C numbers, you've got the Great Magnus and friends out here, and then you've got the deck inherently built into itself. Now, obviously, things like Swift Gaia, Volcasaurus, the Imperial Queen, these are all going to be important cards to pick up for this deck. And you've also got the Battle Guard stuff as well, because Battle Guard Echoes was something that has been discussed by a lot of people today. Battle Guard Echoes on activation gives you the ability to search for any of these real options that you need in the deck. You know, getting to that level 5 warrior to special summon itself and be able to combo up with that, or, you know, to drop down the vampire looking guy out of the deck in combination with that. Or if you also want to go one step further out here and you want to test the Battle Guard stuff in here and play the original Battle Guards, you can do so. I don't recommend it. All right. You've also got Chronomaly cards in here as well. There's been a pretty interesting discussion about that. The problem was with the Chronomaly stuff, though, that one of the canines does not allow you to make light monsters, which is an interesting penalty, to say the least, if you're using that effect, but they just don't want you to immediately go into the crazy side of this deck and be able to tear down your opponent. That kind of goes against what I think that this deck was initially trying to do. So I don't like that idea. I really wish that there wouldn't have been a specific lock on it, but I guess for lore, they couldn't initially do that. That's also why, you know, I'm looking at the Chronomaly stuff, and, you know, while we did get one of the big reprints in here, Machu Mech is still nowhere to be seen. Machu Mech would have been an insane reprint to put in here, because anytime you're making a rank 5 deck, Machu Mech is always going to be one of those culprits to look at and go, huh, you know, where is this card? Can we make an FTK with this? And I'm sure as this morning is going to go, or this afternoon, as more and more of this K9 stuff develops in gameplay, you might actually end up seeing, you know, the usual Tzolk'in OTK coming out here, because this is just, you know, what this is. I think that's why this archetype has been such a big deal, because it's the first time in a while that Konami has given love to rank 5s. Rank 5s have been very, very malnourished. And also the fact that they cut this archetype off from making Pallades was a hilarious choice on Konami's behalf. Good job, Konami. You saw through what the player base was going to do. You knew Singular Bounce from Pallades was going to be such a crazy thing that you should never have actually allowed this deck to do. So good job. I'm proud of you. Now, honestly, I don't... You couldn't have let this deck go down the Pallades route and actually, like, get some interruptions. Like, how was that such a bad idea that you had to lock us out of light monsters? I'm still going to question that for a little while, because to me, that's crazy to be thinking about. I don't think that the K9 deck is as big of a deal as certain people in the community are. Memes aside, and, you know, there are two wolves inside of all of us. Besides that meme, I think that this is just, it's one of the more interesting decks in the deck build pack. I think as of filming this, I'd put Dragontail last, even though Dragontail has some explosive plays. And then technically this, and I think Yummy's going to be the best deck. I've seen some really disgusting things with Yummy. And I'm telling y'all, alright, a lot of people have been like, Robbie, you're making too many Yummy pickup videos. No, I'm trying to keep you guys in the loop right now, because I'm seeing different shit each and every day with Yummy. And with as many things as this community is popping off about that deck, it's interesting, to say the least. So, I don't know why K9 has been such a big deal, but it's probably the revival of old themes and the cool ideas that come with them. But please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.